So today we are gonna be diagnosing a misfire on this Ford KA over here. And also we are going to perform an interim service on this Ford Focus ST3 with customer provided parts from Ford and EBC. Finally, a Vauxhall Corsa 2016 in for a major service to replace all filters and fluid in the system. Let's get started. First things first, what's the first step for when there is a misfire? You always have to check obviously the state of the spark plugs, and also check if you're getting signals onto your coil pack, because if you're not, mainly with random cylinder misfire, it could mean that you've got a break on the wire somewhere. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to check the signal and obviously all of the CAN signals as well. So let's get to it. Important thing when using oscilloscope, checking signals and stuff, is to obviously check if your scope is working correctly. And as you can see there, we are at 12 volts. That's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check the pins.
Ignition is on.
So as you can see here, we've got a power coming from here. So now what we have to do is we've got to turn the vehicle on and then probe it from the back just to see if there's any signal and stuff like that coming from that wiring. Because if you look at this, that worries me the most, because you can see it's dented and that's part of the wiring loom. So I'm not sure if this wire goes that way or this way. So it's just best to check the signals before we start replacing stuff. You replace that spark plugs in the coil pack and it doesn't cure it, you're in trouble. Yeah, let's turn the car on, let's put everything back in first and then we'll check it. This has always been my approach. I believe that if you're just replacing parts without diagnosing, you're just guessing. That's never me.
Yeah.
And then the voltage, yeah, good?
Yeah.
Right, so we've seen now that all the signals are working. So we have CAN line, we have the ground working. That's the one with the 0 voltage in it, so that's the first wire. Obviously, ground to ground will not produce any voltage. We've checked the 4 lines that's going to each cylinder. That's all working. And then we've got a live voltage of 14 volts running onto the coil pack itself. So that just tells me that one, either the spark plugs is going or the coil pack is at fault. But the thing is, best practice on this 2013, we've got this coil pack probably from brand new, since the car was new and probably never been replaced. So it's best to just change the spark plugs and the coil pack at the same time anyway, because it's likely that this coil pack is going to fail at some point. Let's get going. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in there. That in there is the head of a spark plug. You can actually see it from here, that spark plug doesn't have any head compared to that one. Can we see the other ones?
You can.
That one there, yeah, obviously the rest of the stuff is there. When you get random cylinder misfire codes, it is actually likely that your coil pack had failed. You can see it right there, random cylinder misfire detected, and then you've got 1, 2 and 4, and then cylinder 3 misfire detected over here. That is enough evidence for me to say the coil pack needs to be replaced as well. We've checked our signals are working fine going into the coil pack, so there is no reason for us to check the wiring that is going back to the ECU, if that makes sense. What we're going to suggest to the customer is to replace the spark plugs and the coil packs as well. So let me speak to the customer and see what he says.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
So the customer has agreed now. He wants to replace the coil pack and also the spark plugs. I can't believe this. Apparently there's been a mechanic that came to diagnose this vehicle and they can't find out what's wrong with it. It's pretty basic. Like, his spark plugs are very old. This coil pack is very old. What are they checking for?
Gasoline.
What? Gasoline?
Gasoline.
Gasoline what? God's sake. But yeah, what we're gonna do now is we are gonna go to our supplier, grab obviously the best parts that we can have. I think I requested for an NGK spark plugs, which is obviously the same as this, and also we requested for a Hella, which is the OEM for Ford anyway, for coil packs and stuff like that. So let's get going. Let's go to our supplier. I had a little scare. This door, the driver's door, so I left the key in the ignition, right, and then I thought I had it, so I closed the door and I was like, oh no, auto lock, but no, this just doesn't work. In my head straight away I was like, that's £90 off. Straight away it's like £90. Gone. Finished. But look, see that? Actually works. So now off to the supplier. Just by using parts like NGK and Hella, which is OEM to many manufacturers, I am confident to fit them in, and I know that my customer will not come back to me with a single complaint.
Yeah, oh my gosh, there was gunk in there. Where's the hole? 60 missed calls. Where's the last screw? Wait, you dropped it.
Can't see a damn thing. It's in. This one. This one. That's in.
There's a purr there.
A purr.
A purr there, mate.
Right, here we go. First start. Engine light would still be on. Obviously we have to delete that. But let's see if it's going to misfire or not. You heard it. You heard what it sounded like earlier. Sounded like absolute dog poop. So here you go. There she is. Happy days. I did tell you, it's not normal if it doesn't turn on straight away.
It never has in the mornings.
Really?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Now that's normal. And it's settled now, is it? Yeah, I will have to delete that, the engine light, and yeah, that is it pretty much. We've got plenty of lights on, isn't it? Moving on, now we have got the Ford Focus ST3 in for a service and also a rear brake disc and pads replacement. So let's get to it.
There's an oil leak on the belt side. Didn't really see because it was dark. Let me show you guys. Jesus Christ. Look, you see it right there. Right here, there is an oil leak. I'll look into it. Oh, mate, it is covered. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. I don't know why Marv loves giving me these jobs. I could have done the brakes, but he wants me on the rear like a rat. Yeah, next time we're doing brakes in a service, I'm telling him to get on the rear, mate. Shut up! Talking about you.
Right. That's it. There you go.
He just wants me to cuddle him, innit?
My name is not Flo. That's so tight.
Thank you.
What do you mean thank you? What do you mean by that?
I'll let the viewers figure that out. Wink, wink. Wait. I'm not winking, it's too cold to wink.
To what?
Wink. Wink, wink.
That's not what I heard.
You nasty. It is too cold to...
Is it flat-sided? Yes. You love to see it. Why is it? What a customer. He sure knows how to take care of his pride and joy by using OEM and high performance parts from EBC. Let's give his car the treatment that it deserves by doing the job correctly. What? So I'm on the other side now. Anyone got the right answer for this? What's happened to that? And the spigot as well, or the centering thing, whatever you want to call it, stayed on the hub. That's friendly. This side is proving to be difficult. The disc itself is seized in place along with the spigot. Whilst I'm trying to persuade this disc to come off the hub, John is finishing off his job at the front of the car. Many minutes later, the disc finally came off. Until I noticed something when I was fitting the new disc. Right, bit of annoying one. As you can see right there, I should have noticed this to begin with anyway. The grooves, when it's moving forward, it's going that way. When it's supposed to be going that way. If you have a look here, it's labelled left and now it's labelled right. So when I put the left hand side on, took it out from this box, I was like, yeah, okay, left hand side. Fitted it, done, finished. Now, I think EBC has labelled that incorrectly because the groove is supposed to be going the other way and not clockwise, if that makes sense. There is a massive dilemma online or a massive debate online about these brakes, groove brakes. Usually, some people will say, oh, it should be going, you know, clockwise. Some people would say it should be going anti-clockwise. So basically the grooves is going the other way instead of it going to the right. Yeah, but from my experience, it's always been the groove should be going the other way, if that makes sense. So let me explain it to you. All right, here we go. So obviously this one is incorrectly fitted, so this is on the wrong side, so it goes forward like that. You don't want that. So what you want is this. So this is what you want. Obviously the caliper is here. As you can imagine, if you're braking, that gets hot very quick, like right over here. So what these grooves does is they carry some cold air back into the pads. It gets heated up, and then once it's out of the pads, what's going to happen is it's going to dissipate all of that heat. But if it was turning the other way, for example, just use this as an example, if it was turning that way, what's going to happen, oh sorry, because obviously if it's moving forward, just imagine the grooves the other way around. What's going to happen is the grooves is actually not going to be carrying cold air, because it's going against the air, if that makes sense. So cold air blows that way, and that is why they get blown out that way, so yeah, that's the principle of that. I believe that EBC have just labeled that wrong. Again, there's a massive debate online, so put it down in the comment section below what you think is the right way. But in any of the cars that I've seen that's got factory grooves and stuff like that, this is the right way. That is the correct rotation of the disc and the grooves, so it should be going the other way around, like that. There you go. If the owner was to sell this vehicle, I wouldn't hesitate to take it off his hands. I know that it's well taken care of. That being said, drop in the comment section down below if you want to see me rebuild and modify a crashed Ford ST. Okay, now we're moving on to the next job, the Vauxhall Corsa that needs a major service. Cat S damaged vehicle, obviously not the one that I have just done, it's a different one. This one is a 16 plate and he just wants to take care of it. There's a few things wrong with it. Obviously it's a Vauxhall Corsa, but yeah, we'll go and have a look, shall we? So that Ford is done, customer's happy, engine's purring nicely. Are you happy, John? Right, so it seems like the last customer is not answering. Was he home time?
There's a plane!
Is he home time?
Rock, paper, scissors. You call him again. 3, 2, 1, rock. What the?
Oh, I thought you said one drop.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Guess we're going home.
No, he just texted. From what the customer has told us, it seems like this car here has got a timing chain fault. Let's have a look. Apparently there's a loud tapping noise coming from the engine bay when it's cold, so let's try and start it. John, this is a Cat S apparently. Oh. Just a tiny bit. One bit more. Yeah, that's definitely the timing chain. So common on these A14 XERs. Yikes. But anyway, they asked us to do a service on it, so we're going to be replacing all of the filters, spark plugs, and also we are going to be draining the coolant as well, and the brake fluid change. That's what we wanted, so let's get to it. Yep, so as I've mentioned, this car is a Cat S, so you can see right there it's rubbing on to the frame of the car when he goes full lock to the left, and that's nice and clear. And to be honest with you, I do think that the chassis leg has completely moved, because you can see it on the paint, not the paint, the sticky thing that they put on the panels. So this piece over here that's broken, so I'm talking about, it's not this piece that's they fixed it, but the problem is with this part of the chassis leg, so that needs to move in a little bit more. You can see they've joined a new chassis leg on this side, but that side needs repairing, so it's not centered, and that is actually very visible when you look at this bar here. You can see right there, that's supposed to be straight, but you can see it's like a banana. You're a banana. Just trying to explain things here.
Don't explain.
That's unfortunate for him. I guess he's got to live with it. At least that's a decent filter. We go to my van. You already know. Man filter. Happy days. Always just good parts. I can't believe this. Nah, mate. I pulled it out and it was like this. How ridiculous is that? Look at that. They just... Nah, man. That's not alright. That's rude. Yeah, it looks like this car is well taken care of. You can see it there. If you compare it to the other Vauxhalls that we've done with the same engine, you can see it right there. It's actually like varnished, if that makes sense. Instead of it being black and gunky, it's actually varnished. Reasoning for this, don't worry about that too much, because that is actually because they only use this car for short drives, so it's inevitable they would have this stuff on it. So yeah, man, put some fresh oil in there, and that should be us done with the engine. Then after that we'll just have to drain the coolant and then replace the .4 in there. Shell have actually put a vent on that now. That's nice, isn't it?
That's the pouring hole.
What's that?
It's the pouring hole.
That's not the pouring hole.
This is the vent.
Alright, so that is us done. So we have done the Ford Fiesta. Obviously that one we had to fully diagnose it, because sometimes it could just be the wiring and stuff, but it isn't. It isn't, and we have proven that. You can see that on the video. And we have also fitted a customer owned part, so he's actually chosen good parts, so that's brilliant in him. EBC brakes, and then you also have Castrol oil, which is recommended by Ford, and he's also bought a genuine Ford oil filter as well. And now obviously we've done a major service on this vehicle here. Some more repairs that we have to do with this one. So yeah, this is where I'm going to end the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, so please like, share, comment and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace. In what?